All right, so again, we'll start the day with the monthly report. I don't know what's going on. I didn't read any of it. I was playing all Eve, but Twitch chat is saying some pretty exciting stuff in here. So, yeah, I guess let's jump into a bunch of AI stuff that we don't actually expect to see any of, but let's see. July saw the AI content team continuing ongoing activities mentioned in recent monthly reports. So, wild lines. I don't know if that means FPS combat or during ship combat. I feel like I heard a random wild line yesterday or the day before, though. Shop behaviors for more opportunities to make the population feel more interactive. That would be really nice. I feel like you go into a shop and it's like an old MMO where the guy just stands there and waits for you, right? Almost as if they're a robot. For example, leveraging recent behavior found in medical stations. Okay, like random voice acting, but you kind of want them to talk to each other, but you also want them to talk to you, right? So yeah, like, hey, come in, whatever you need. Just let me know if you have any questions, something that somebody would normally say. Also plan for several upcoming releases. So AI tech plan for upcoming releases. Okay. Outline required work and highlight potential obstacles. I mean, do you think they made 4.3 there? Additional comms calls into the game? Probably. For that. AI features could do new creatures, including prototype gameplay for a boss fight. Would they consider the regular sandworm a new creature? I don't know. As part of this, new tech was created that makes the process faster and more iterative, providing a better toolkit for designers. All right. For human combat, the team fixed numerous smaller bugs, including a close-range shove attack that allows the AI to respond rapidly to a player or other NPCs getting too close. Oh, okay. That one's interesting. AI feature then continued to tweak, refine, and bug fix perception. Need a religious war in the game? I mean, do we even have... I guess the fire rats are the closest thing that we have to, like, religious, maybe extremists. But it's very weird. Group perception time. Determine how long the target has been out of range. Okay. Progress was also made on AI weapon interface, dynamic weapon conditions. For example, when weapons change from rapid fire to single fire and when overheating. Okay. I guess because they're starting to use volt weapons too. They need to know when their weapon's overheating and stuff. AI game intelligence development team. Usually this is where there's some decent stuff here. Continue to work on prototype for mission system V2. Involve moving node states in the graph, reflecting them, copy, paste, and undo. Yeah, this is all... It seems like big stuff is going on here, but we don't really... I can't understand what any of it is. So yeah, all this just sounds like gibberish to me. A density profiler, which pre-visualizes large scenes. Large scenes. I think we know what this means. I think we just pulled direct text from Squadron 42 stuff and pulled it over here. All right, let's go. All right, AI tech, which is what most of the monthly report, especially in the AI section, feels like. AI tech began the month improving navigation. For example, they fixed island connections for planetary navigation mesh. Okay. Flags can now be added for AI, for ship AI. For new feature, flight movement request type. I think we're going to start seeing AI ships coming and going. I think they're really trying to do this right now. That's the vibe I've gotten over the last couple monthly reports. Like, they're really trying to get ships coming and going from certain places. I'm not sure why, though. New functionality, which also had a flow graph, subsumption, global. Yeah, this is all just gibberish to me for the most part. But the vibe really feels like they're trying to get AI ships coming and going to places that we normally come and go to. All right, animation. Team progressed with a new ship enter exit template animation alongside pickups for bespoke gameplay features for an upcoming PU release. Do you think it's the thing at the locations? I don't know. Because the whole thing is this was a month ago, so are they hiding things? Right? Facial animation of June. Performance capture, including several new mission givers and a mini-boss. They then worked alongside narrative to create finalized animations for various TV broadcast characters that will populate the verse, including James Harriman. Okay, so Jared's going to be, instead of like a static character, it sounds like he's going to be a moving one. Also, mini boss and new mission givers. We know the new mission giver for ASD. The mini boss we don't know. Mini boss. Any guesses? It can't be the adult Valakar in the engineering section. So, I don't know. It's miniature from the other boss. Onyx. Oh yeah, probably phase 3 of Onyx or not phase 3. What do they call it? Tagilla? Yeah, it's Tagilla. Zone 3 or what are they calling them? Mini boss replaces the worm in Onyx. I think it's too early for a mini boss there, right? That's like as soon as you get in there. Maybe Jorrit is the boss. All right, character art, new armors and variants. Exploration phase for flight suits. Okay. All right. Ship art. Anvil Paladin. Gray box review. I mean, what is this? This is the Apollo, right? I'm assuming. Anvil Paladin. Changes to the turret setup, resulting in further rounds of iteration. Drake Ironclad. Navigation flow. All right. Including new elevators and revised staircase locations to improve traversal times around the ship. Ironclad Assault also progressed through White Box, and the team with the team implementing key differences between it and the base. RSI Meteor was also launched along. Yeah, okay, we know that one. 4 unannounced vehicles progressed down pipeline 2. First kickoff, approaching White Box phase. I usually don't care about those too much because it's like unannounced White Box, kind of far away. We'll hear more about it soon. The third continued through development with those further. Okay, that's more North America. The Medevac was getting done. What is this ship below me? The Perseus? Oh, yeah, it's definitely the Perseus, right? Because of this gun. Yeah, it has to be. That's that iconic like Perseus Top Gun. God, it doesn't look anything like it from here because of the color. That's Lot Zero. So this thing is coming soon. Finally, the Drake Kraken had further pre-production work done. Okay. Pre-production doesn't mean that much, but again, they said they're going to start it by the end of the year. This identified more areas where Kiss from the Ironclad helps speed up production. Okay. Cool. Community, usually not too much there, so we'll skip over to that. Core gameplay. All right, here we go. It's a big one this week. Throughout July, the core gameplay team focused on freight elevators. I wonder why. Because they didn't focus on freight elevators in June or May or April or March or February. Providing fixes for critical issues raised during the Resource Drive event. You know what? No. They were not raised during the Resource Drive event. They were raised the entire year. The entire year at the CZs, at Hathor, at Lazarus, and you ignored every single one of them until you were dumb enough to make the start of the event use a freight elevator. And thank God you were, because when you were dumb enough to do that, you realized that you needed to fix them. Unbelievable. But I'm like, at CZ's, like the key part of the loop is to be able to drop the really good well, they were really good, the components down the freight elevator. But they weren't that great of components, so people You just ignored it, I guess. Hathor. There's a freight elevator there, but not that big of a deal, right? But the entire Hathor loop with Wicklow, where people are just losing hundreds of thousands of millions of credits worth of stuff, just don't care about that either. And then finally, it was, I can't do the event, I can't do the event, I can't do the event. And that was the trigger. Oh, I am sorry for that rant, but it is so deserved. It's not even funny, because to say something like that is so obnoxious, because we pay to test your game, and we have told you over and over and over again about these freight elevators, over and over again, and nothing was done. And then you were like, oh, these issues were raised during Resource Drive event, like everything else was fine. Guys, nothing was fine. This is so, it's just so rude and so just dismissive. It's really annoying. It's like we've been trying to help ourselves have fun. Ugh. And now they're improving their debugging tools. Okay, great. This will ensure future issues can be triaged faster with more initial information for investigation. You should have been doing that all year. Work was done alongside online technology on contract generation and how missions utilize locations, both in terms of finding and reserving or preventing them from becoming overrun. Immediate fixes were implemented and several future improvements were planned. I mean, this has to happen, right? So as the way people are kind of complaining about the AST locations, like them attempting to become instances, and then other people are complaining that they're still PvP areas, it's really another attempt, I think, more than anything, at, when like the locations would fill up and there would be no missions for you to do and you'd be waiting for a mission to show up. It does seem like they're finally trying to just like really spiderweb all that stuff out and make it way more possible to just do the missions you want to do. So, yeah. Core gameplay also improved the spawning flow to allow for another attempt of players spawning directly into their personal hangars. It seems to be working. This work also paves the way for allowing players to spawn where they were. In my ship? Outside? In the middle of a city? Wherever I left off? That's huge. That's huge. Within reason is, I don't think you can just like log out in the CZ maybe, or Lazarus or something like that. That's my guess of what this means, but yeah. Core gameplay began technical work towards refreshing, or after you've died? No, because you go down, right? Core gameplay began technical work towards refreshing parts of the inventory and continue bug fixing for freight elevators. You better be. You better be doing both. You better be doing both. If you are not 100% focused on that all the time, what are we doing? For crafting, the team continued to reevaluate the scope for public release. Here we go. Here we go. Continue reevaluated the scope. Here we go, boys. It was going to be all this stuff, and it is going to be tier 0 crafting. You are going to craft like 3 things. Here we go. There it is. The big grand, this is what we're going to do. But none of that is going to be done until 5 years, 10 years from now. But here's what you're going to get on initial release. Oh my God, we already have it with our salvage ships. I am so nervous for this sentence here. I am so nervous for this sentence. Yeah, now we can craft a max lift. Oh my God. Here's what I imagine. I don't think we're going to craft ships at the start, right? Is everyone okay with that? I'm not. Well, actually, does it matter? Like, I can't think of an item right now that I can't lose, that I can lose. Ammo? Yeah, maybe ammo. Yep. High Lord just said ammo in chat too. Base building. Yeah, you need a base for ships. Well, what we don't know. I mean, you got to think that crafting would come alongside base building, right? Like the 2 and 2 would go together. Do you think we would get a miniature crafting in our hangar before base building? Perhaps. But okay, let's continue. While the inventory UI concept showed recently on Star Citizen Live entered development, with the team doing preparation work and setting up the new canvas. Okay. All right. They're cooking. They're cooking there at least. I don't like the UI necessarily, but hopefully it is performant. For hacking, more options were added to help teach players how to use the feature alongside bugs. So hacking is like that to me looks like hacking is pretty far along in internal testing, and they realize that they need a helper tool to teach players how to do it. Okay. There's a lot here that is future stuff. These are features, man. This is feature stuff. So I'm starting to think that maybe we are done with the year of playability. SitCon is near. Oh, everything here is going to be shown at SitCon, isn't it? Yeah, good point. Shown at SitCon. So all of this work is being used to fake it like they do at SitCon, like fake with quotes around it. Like it works in their little environment at the time, but they're not showing us it in a test environment that we could play in. Yeah, I think that's a fair guess right now. They're going to show some shitty kind of version of crafting or whatever, like dumbed down version of it. And they'll show hacking. Yeah. Okay. Core gameplay also supported weapon content and implementing a bespoke flap animation used during charge-up sequence of the Volt Sniper. Oh, the things opening up, maybe. July saw engineering gameplay enter tech preview preparation. With the devs moving the code to the new staging stream, they also added the ability to limit the number of active items per pool. Okay. This is interesting. The first thing that comes to mind when they say that is, for a ship that has a lot of weapons, would they have 2 weapon pools? Potentially. Like we have 2 cooler pools. Because ships that have 2 power plants don't have 2 power plant pools. Ships that have multiple shields don't have multiple shield pools. But for some reason, we have 2 cooler pools. Maybe? I don't know. That's interesting. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Thruster temperatures are now visible on screen, and the iconography between the diagnostics and engineering screens have been unified. Oh, that instantly makes me so nervous. Thruster temperatures. The amount of time it takes to travel to get to everything in this game is pretty horrendous. I think everyone would agree. Most of us boost as much as we possibly can to get to something as fast as we possibly can. Sounds like we're not going to be able to do that anymore. Ugh, okay. The team also added further damage balance modifiers, for example, making fuses on sturdier ships harder to destroy. Diagnostics also received severity filters and item categories to make it easier to identify critical issues. Okay. Guys, I think we have red ants in the room because I definitely got bit by one earlier. That's not good. And I just felt one on my foot. Bite my foot. That sucks. They are the worst. July saw engineering gameplay enter tech preview preparation. No, I just read that. As part of the ongoing looting and harvestable quality of life initiative, the team completed a new implementation of loot generation. This system is twice as fast as the previous version and includes better controls for designers alongside improved debug tools. That is the best thing I have seen in any monthly report the entire year towards the year of playability. This is one of those things where inventory and looting and trying to get something out of a box or a character is incredibly frustrating. It just isn't performant. The item expiry feature kicked off. Oh, here we go. Which will allow designers to define the functionality lifetime of items. This is intended for items such as key cards that are only meant to be usable for a limited amount of time before they become non-functional. An item's expiry state and timer will be visible in the inventory. Progress on item recovery tier 1 continued, including various setup. So this is CZ keys. That's interesting. Yeah, you can't hoard the keys. That's cool. That's good. So you go to do the loop, and you're doing the loop. Yeah, Hathor, Worm, CZs. All right. Hopefully item recovery tier 1 comes sooner than later, but it's still just bad. The team completed the refactor of quantum interdiction for server meshing. Yes, we know that. All right, we'll skip that one then. Flight system control service fly-by-wire was finished, which will feed pilot commands to the IFCS, correctly adjust control surfaces in atmosphere, much like modern fight jetter would. Also included the implementation of auto trimming, whatever, I don't know. Flight stuff. When it's in, it's in. Quantum travel, they're adding new mechanics. Can they fix the old ones? Please. It's so annoying. FPS radar and scanning saw additional progress through July with further improvements allowing the designers to find custom scan data. AI can now react to being scanned and respond accordingly. Players will also be able to identify if enemy NPCs have radar equipped and could perceive the player scanning. Okay. Ongoing transport refactor continued with additional work for dynamic destinations such as instance hangars. Okay. This is now the best thing I've ever read in a monthly report. Because what I read this as is from my instance hangar, just like in Pyro, I can go anywhere in a landing zone. That's what I'm hoping for. We'll see what this ends up being, but that is very exciting. Upcoming August release. Expose more controls for item rewards. All right, we'll see what that is, I guess, at some point. Team addressing critical issues that prevented the use of drop-off lockers that are required for upcoming set of missions. You have not invested enough time because I just tried to do this one yesterday, and it was broken. Okay, somebody said the economy team was good. This one is so short, you must have been trolling. The economy team is currently analyzing the recent community poll. We would like to thank everybody for the extremely useful feedback that you provided. Your answers will help us better prioritize our focus for the next few months. They reviewed engagement metrics with the new content introduced this year with the aim of balancing in a way that is both fun and fair. Oh, okay. They got me. As an ongoing effort to make the game more accessible, the team are adding the ammunition used by most FPS weapons to a significant number of shops. Now players should be able to find the ammo for their favorite weapons more easily. However, ammo for the more special weapons will remain exclusive. Again, this all just needs to get balanced by crafting, and then we, the players, need to deal with this. But okay. They keep saying they're doing background work. I feel like they should tell us what that is, because it does look like they're doing nothing. So, yeah. Mission design. Resource drive event. Fix small exploits. Alongside 4.3 initiatives. Okay. Narrative is like performance capture stuff, Because we record scripts far enough in advance for the material to be processed in game. We work with design, record additional stuff. Okay. Online technology. Report bugs through the crash handler. Make it more reliable. All right. Task for the Blueprint Library also began with API development planned for August. Finally, the team continued their work and discussions on item imprint v1. I don't know what item imprint is, but I believe that is my item that I crafted, probably. R&D, performance and optimizing engine game code. Okay. UI is probably all the screens in the event. Yep, that's what it looks like. VFX is the locations and the weapons and stuff. Okay, some pretty big stuff there. I mean, I think the blueprints, the crafting thought process is pretty big. More radar stuff. Engineering preview is definitely coming soon-ish. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and like getting a good look at the Perseus is pretty exciting. I know a lot of people are pretty pumped for that ship. So that's the monthly report. Pretty sick. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. But yeah, as always, just like to wait to see that stuff come in game because it usually comes in not as exciting as they write it down in the monthly reports usually. So we'll see.